how smart and swift they were to maneuver and dribble their way. Bam.
Any seconder?
Yes, second.
Yes, DSP.
I second.
Okay.
Didn't hear what he said. Didn't hear what he said. Didn't hear what he said.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
And that was it. The Mumu think that we Nigerians are asleep. And we caught them on time. And we must insist that it must reflect in the law electronic transmission of the result, mandatory for INEC. Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. Have you heard this song where they say, Onela Lola, Ebulebia?
You better focus on after business with the top place.
What it means is that if you sleep, they go carry your gun. That is exactly what happened at the Senate when Akpabio smartly dribbled the rest of other senators in accepting and passing the amended electoral reform without properly reflecting what the senators earlier agreed. Listen to this and they come back.
Clause 60. Yes, Senator Manguno.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Manguno. I represent Barunet Senatorial District. Mr. President, I propose that instead of using the word transmission, we should retain what is in the existing word extant law, which is transfer.
Any seconder?
Yes, second.
Yes, DSP.
I second.
Okay.
Didn't hear what he said.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Can we go to... I hope you heard what they said. Clause 61.
Good. When I see them, when I notice how they dribbled it, when other senators were distracted, one senator, they already positioned to do it at the time he was supposed to do it so that they can quickly, rushly, boom, pass it quickly before others will realize what happened. And when they did, I can hear the voice of people like Akpabio and the rest of them shouting, we didn't hear what you said, though. What is it that you are saying, nay and yea, oh? We didn't understand what you are saying. The man was being saying, the eyes have it. The eyes have it.
Any seconder?
Yes, second.
Yes, DSP.
I second.
Okay.
Didn't hear what he said. Didn't hear what he said. Didn't hear what he said.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
And that was it. The Mumu think that we Nigerians are asleep. That we are unintelligent. Thank God they caught them. They caught them on time. So they will do the needful. You think that it is just a mere transfer or transmission? It is. They are the same thing. We have to leave it the way it is before now.
With the fact that the Senate has rejected electronic transmission, that is not true. That is not true. Electronic transmission had always been in our act. And what we did was to return the electronic transmission, which had been in our act and which was used in 2022. So please do not allow people to confuse you. If you are in doubt, we will make up our final votes and proceedings available to you if you apply and you are entitled, so that you will see this Senate under my watch has not rejected electronic transmission of results. It's in my interest as a participant in the next election for such to be done. So please don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the crowd. We have retained what was in the previous provision. That's all we did. So if we rejected what was proposed by way of amendment and said, let's retain what was in the previous provision, the previous provision had made allowance, had made provision for electronic transmission. So it is still there as part of our laws. And I think we should be moving forward, not moving backwards. There is no way we can, in this era of electronics, will now be going backwards.
Mumu think they're wise. Nigerians are watching. Because Kurukele leg with the waka, Kurukele eyes with the follow am, they see am. And that is a lesson to people like Baribe and the rest of them. You must stay alert, because if you slag, now these guys, they go just change you quick.
In the last elections in 2022, which was used in 2023 elections, all the time that people went to court, all the way to the Supreme Court, especially for the presidential elections, the court held that what INEC put as their guidelines, because that particular proposition in the act says transfer of result as approved by the INEC. They held that INEC guidelines were not law. And that was why everyone prior to this time, and from the time that the Electoral Committee of the Senate and the House started meeting from 2024 to now, everyone now agreed that since there's this problem with the law, it's much better that we put it, and so that it's clear and it's concise. And so it was what was put in the document before us. Now, when that document was brought, which was the amendment of this 2022 Act, we approved all the ones we could approve.
Including electronic transmission.
And so when we now came back,
right,
because it's better that we got the whole sequence for plenary session, it was simply for us to just go through what was already approved in the executive session. That's why if you notice what happened, the Senate President will simply say, Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, approve, we say approve. So because we wanted to go through it. And that was how we went through up till we got to Section 60. Of course, so many people were walking about, people were talking to each other, because everybody assumed that the matter had been settled through all these processes. And so what we now felt was that we had already passed this. In the document that I have, what is inside there is electronic transmission through the IREF.
Right.
And so we felt that this had already been done. So we were surprised. While we were still in the chamber, that we started getting reports that no, that wasn't what was passed. So everybody was perplexed. And so people started walking around to say, what went on here? Because this was like an assumption of something that had already gone. So I went personally to the Senate President, and the President now said, oh no, let him clarify. And he said it. Oh, don't worry, what we passed was transmit, not
transfer.
And all that. So we were now surprised.
When the reports started coming.
When the reports started coming
so
out.
what
And then some of our colleagues now said that in the document they had, that they said transfer. I said, no, it can't be. So we didn't want this confusion. So a few of us who were still around, we called each other and said, no, this is not what we passed. So let us make sure that Nigerians know.
The issue of going back to 2022 Electoral Act that talked about transfer, it was not the case when the senators discussed it exhaustively. You know, it was rejected. They said electronic transmission, all divides. So you cannot come now and do it, maybe, I don't know the word that would be appropriate, but put it in a manner that the senators will be taken unawares. And it was not debated because we had ample time to debate this thing during closed session. And everybody aired his view, and over 85% of the senators agreed to electronic transmission of results.
You know, they have all agreed that and have done everything they have to do, and all the senators unanimously agreed that it is electronic transmission of results in real time. That is what they agreed. Both the House of Rep and the Senate agreed that it will be electronic transmission of results. Mandatory, making it mandatory for INEC to do so. Now they want to say transfer. Transfer, how? How will you transfer it? Then they will now come up in an ambiguous way, because they will tell you that transfer can be transferring it by writing. And you now see them mutilating results and publishing anything they have written in one lock-up hotel room as the election result. Electronic transmission must reflect in that law if Nigeria will go to the polls next year. Else, no need wasting the time of everybody in the name of election, so that we know there was no election. That thing is mandatory. That transfer must be changed. As one no Igbo, in a clear, simple English, everybody will understand, unambiguous, so that nobody will come and give us another interpretation. Transfer what? How? How will it be transferred? The result. How would the result? How have the result not been transferred all this while? Then what is the difference? You want to retain what you did in 2023? No, it's not going to work. Nigerians are not going to allow it. And that is a lesson for all senators at the National Assembly, both at the Federal House and the Senate House and floor. Every one of you must stay awake, because look at how smart and swift they were to maneuver and dribble their way. Bam. And we caught them on time. And we must insist that it must reflect in the law electronic transmission of the result, mandatory for INEC, without which there will be no election. And that is our position. And we are going to start it on the street to educate the people on the need for them to be awoke, because we have been asleep all this while, and this never political class have taken us for a ride and making the lives of the people miserable. And that is our stand, and this is our mission. The ballot revolution is the gateway for your freedom, no matter what you are asking or agitating for. My name is Asujanet Peters, your advocate for good governance. I'll share this video because it is making impact and enlightening Nigerian people. I'm signing out. Bye-bye for now.